our way to interview at All About Dance. And the reason I'm really excited about this one is because I'm a dancer. I've been dancing since I was 5, and I'm looking forward to hearing what they have to say in regards to misconceptions that people have about dance. Like, you know, you have to be this super duper talented, flexible, skinny person in order to dance. And for anybody who's seen me in person, you know, me no skinny. Me no skinny. You know what? I'm going to ask them to show me a really simple 8 count. What do you think about that?
Do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it now. Yeah, I'm going to ask them to show me a really...
Get to the dancer.
See? I'm driving, see? Can't do the dancer now. So I want them to show me a really simple 8 count to show people that it's not as difficult as it seems. And I also teach dance too. So there's different levels: beginner, intermediate, advanced. So I'm really excited about this. I like being in the front of the class teaching, but I really love being a student also. Hi, I'm Erica Gilchrist, the Unstoppable Woman, and welcome to this segment of Women Thriving Fearlessly, where we feature personal stories of successful people to inspire women to thrive. And I am here at All About Dance Studio in Lincoln Park here in Chicago, and I'm really excited to speak with Miss Jessica and Miss Shannon, who are going to show you how to thrive fearlessly. Ladies, welcome to Women Thriving Fearlessly. We really appreciate you taking time out. The ladies of All About Dance Studio, Miss Jessica, Miss Shannon, we really appreciate you all being here with us. So just tell us right off the cuff, what is All About Dance?
Should I go?
Go for it.
All About Dance is a fun place where kids, teens, and adults learn to dance. We have a variety of programs starting with 18-month-old little babies that come in and they do Mommy and Me programs to get them acclimated to the studio. And then we have a huge recreational program for kids who just want to come in, have fun, get some energy out, love to dance. From there, we have a Starlet program, which Shannon runs, and it is kids age 7 to 9. And that's kind of, you know, if they're starting to get more into dance and they want to make it their thing. Mm-hmm. And then we have a fabulous company program where the kids audition. And we have about 70 kids in that program, and that's where they really start to focus in on, you know, if they want to be professional dancers or they really want to get technical with their sport, and they do all genres. So we really focus on being a well-rounded dance studio because we believe that the world of dance, if you're going to go out and audition, you have to be able to be a ballet dancer, a jazz dancer, a tap dancer. So we require them to take all 4 genres, mm-hmm. and then there are some alternative classes as well that they can take. And we're just a fabulous group of great inspirational teachers that
awesome.
Want to teach the world to dance.
How long has All About Dance been around?
We're actually going into our 9th year, or 10th year, sorry, 10th year.
Yes.
How did you two meet?
We, actually, it's kind of an interesting story, but I moved here from Los Angeles and I was looking for teaching jobs here in the city. And I sent out hundreds of applications, I felt like. And I didn't really know the market at all or where things were located. And I went to a party with a friend one night and she said, you have to check out this studio called All About Dance. You know, it was about the adult classes because she had taken an adult class there. And I said, do they have kids classes? And because that's what I taught. And she said, I don't know, but you should check it out. So I drove by the very next day and there was pink and orange, which happened to be my favorite colors too. So I thought this must be the place for me.
Okay.
And I went online and saw they had a couple of kids classes. And then I called Jessica and set up an interview.
How about that?
Yeah.
What was your first impression of her on the spot?
I was in love.
Oh.
No. Well, I had opened a year ago, and I was 25 years old, so I opened the studio kind of fearless and had no idea what I was really getting into.
Right.
But I love to dance, and I wanted to bring that joy to so many different people. And when Shannon walked through the doors, she was so organized, and she carries a lot of qualities that I don't have.
Excellent.
And so it was kind of a match made in heaven because where I would go in and make everything crazy and I'm all, you know, super high energy. Mm-hmm. She has the capability of going in and really having a great organized methodical class where the kids leave and they're like, they're all being totally well behaved.
Oh, wow.
So we carry a very differentiating skill set that kind of just the match worked perfectly. So from that studio, this is when we were on Webster and Clark. It was 1,800 square feet. It was a teeny little studio, and we were bursting at the seams. And Shannon helped to develop a business plan to move into what we have now, which is 15,000 square feet. And we have 8 dance studios compared with 2. So she's helped really grow the business, and we're a great partnership.
Congratulations on the growth. That is awesome. Not everybody does that. So earlier on, I'm glad you said that. When babies come into a dance studio and they're in this new environment, they just hear music and they want to dress up and they want to dance. But as they get older, I like that you have programs for the students who say, you know what, I want to continue with this, as opposed to being in a class because my mom and dad signed me up for it. So what percentage of students would you say decide, you know what, I want to continue forward if they start in the youngest class?
The growth of that has been phenomenal. It's, because that's what we're really trying to do, is inspire kids to build their confidence and grow with the studio, while learning dance. But at first, it was very recreational. It was lots of kids from after-school programs that were coming over to try something a little bit more dance-like. And as the company grew and the Starlet program grew, and people saw the quality of the students coming out of that and the difference from the recital from the recreational program into that, the kids were inspired. And so now we have over 150 kids that audition for the company program. And we usually take about 75. And then we have this really great intensive program where if you didn't make the company, you still have a place to go. So we're not that type of studio to be like, sorry, you didn't make it, see ya. We believe that everybody has a place, and not, maybe 2% of our students will go on to actually pursue a dance career. And that's okay with us. But as long as, when you're leaving this studio, you're leaving with confidence, you're leaving with poise, you're leaving with passion about something. And the other benefit is that there's kids from every single different school. And so there's not that school drama. It's more like, oh, hey, you're from this school, I'm from this school, let's be best friends. And then they're friends with a common love for something rather than they're just in a social circle. So that's, one of the greatest things about the studio is they leave here with friendships and mentors that are truly positive role models in their life.
That's awesome. So if I wanted to open a dance studio and I walk in here and I see this amazing space with these beautiful people and everyone seems to be into it. Clearly, there's a lot more to running this type of business than what meets the eye. So what would you say is one of the biggest challenges, and this is for either one of you, the biggest challenges of running this type of business successfully?
I think the top 2 challenges are one, dealing with we're all really well at dealing with the children, and that's what we love to do. But also that comes along with having to, deal with parents as well. And their expectations for their kids may not be what ours are. And I think they have an understanding now, especially since we've been around longer, that we are giving them the love of dance first, and we have grown and our name's grown. So we're also taking them to the next level if they choose to do that. But it sometimes is just that fine line of getting the parent to understand, what our philosophy is, how we're teaching them in class, that they are really learning, they're taking it, to a whole different level. We're not this strict studio where we have, it's just ballet and we expect them to stand there for, 5 minutes in first position and then, do all these other things. But that's kind of our first challenge. I think the second one is just keeping the teachers. We have a really great group of kids or teachers that have been with us since pretty much the beginning. And every year we're bringing on new teachers, and it's training them and getting them to understand the philosophy, because we are very different from what all of us kind of grew up in our dance studio. And kind of the older way of thinking, if you will, and just making sure that they're first instilling that love of dance, be positive, be confident, come into the classroom, enjoy, these kids that are come from all around the city. And then making sure they have the technical side of it too, that they'll need if they choose to continue in dance.
Okay. And what do you wish you knew that you know now when you first started the business? Like, what is it? Oh my goodness, I wish we knew that when we first opened.
Don't say yes to everybody.
Okay. What do they ask?
Oh, everything. Can I leave my child here till 10 o'clock? No, I'm just saying, one thing that Shannon really helped me out with a lot was when I first opened, I wanted to make everyone happy. And as the months went on, and as people were walking through the doors, oh, can my 2-year-old take this class? She's so advanced. Can she be in with her sister? She's 7. And I'd be like, sure! And then all of a sudden, all the 7-year-old moms were like, "Why is there a 2-year-old?" And I was like, "Because she wants," you know. And then you realize by saying yes to everyone, you're only 50% making people happy.
Right.
So, you know, it comes with time, and it comes with really being confident in what you're branding and what you're building, but really sitting down and saying, am I true to this? Is this true to my, you know, mission and what I want for the dance studio? You know, and a lot of times parents have going off of what Shannon was saying, they have ideas of how they want their child to pursue their dance career within our studio. And sometimes it's not in line with our value system. Right. And just really staying true to that rather than always every time someone says something to you, you're like, you're right, let's do it that way. Because you want to trust people, but not everybody is living in, you know, the world of this dance studio and realizing the things that need to happen in order for the success of their child. Yeah. So now, you know, that we've been in business for 10 years, we feel that we've gotten a handle on that. And
the mechanics are running smoothly. You figured it out, you know, and you don't need someone to come in and change the wheel. So that totally makes sense. And when you are a chronic people pleaser, the main person who ends up miserable is you. Because everyone wants different things, and we get that parents love their babies. Yes. And they have these high expectations. But a lot of times parents' expectations exceeds the child's first interest and capability. So I'm really glad you said don't say yes to everybody, because I used to be a chronic people pleaser, not anymore. It's scary how easy it is for me to tell someone no now. You're like, I'm just like, can I? No. No. They don't even get the sentence out. I'm like, I know what you're going to say. No, you cannot. Okay. So the show is called Women Thriving Fearlessly, right? And clearly you two are the epitome of what it means for women to thrive fearlessly. But what our viewers would really like to know is the stuff that the public doesn't get to see. So what are some major personal challenges that you've had to face and overcome in order to thrive fearlessly? Either one of you.
I mean, I think our organization is predominantly women, so, you know, we are emotional and we all like to gossip and talk about things internally that may not happen at larger corporations or where you do have, you know, mixed gender. And so that can be challenging at times just because we want to be compassionate and understand, you know, when you're sick, or for those for our teachers who have kids, you know, if they have needs at home too, but then we have a business to run. So it's just finding that fine line. And I think we've both really been working on that, you know, a lot lately, and just, we have a much bigger staff now. I mean, there's, you know, 23 of us, as opposed to when we first started, there was, you know, 6 or 7 of us. Okay. And so we're dealing with a lot of schedules that this is not their only job. They have other things going on in their lives, and we have to kind of take that into consideration too when planning and scheduling. So.
Okay. Yeah, and, you know, all of us are friends. So it's, you know, and most of the time it's so respectful and everybody respects each other's time and space. But there are times where you're like, I mean, you know, you want to go have a glass of wine with your girlfriend after work, and it's, you know, and then all of a sudden you're her boss. So it's been, you know, we've definitely got there where we all have a great relationship now, but it was hard at first to be like, to section off and be like, okay, I'm your boss right now and you didn't do something right. And I still love you, but, you know, these are the rules and regulations of the studio.
Okay, so you're both moms.
Yes.
So, which my assumption is that is probably like the most important role you're gonna play in your lives right now. So, being a mom and running a business, how does that work for you?
Crazy.
Okay, how so?
Well, I was fortunate enough to open the studio before I was a parent.
Okay.
And I honestly don't know how people do it after they have kids.
Wow.
Because of it's hard to find that balance, and I'm just figuring that out. Shannon's kids are a little bit older, and she does a great job of really kind of segmenting her life and having it really organized. As you can tell, she's the organized one. So this was my first baby, and I spent every waking minute loving it and caring for it, and now it's hard because that's the type of person I am. So I'm with my daughter, and I'm like. But luckily she loves to come here, and I love what I do. So I think if you are going to open a business and have kids, you really have to love what you're doing, because something is not going to be able to pull you away from your child if you don't totally love it. And what did I say before? You can't fake it to make it.
Right.
I don't even like that phrase. It's like
Yeah.
fake it till you make it.
You can't.
How do you make it if you
Right.
fake it? Like
Right.
technically, do you really make it?
No.
In terms of what it means to make it and be successful if you're really faking it.
Not if you want to have a successful business.
Exactly. Not
And
really.
truly be passionate about it, because I think that's what's infectious. Is Shannon and I love this. We love every second of teaching, of managing, of all the different aspects. And if we didn't, it would just crumble.
Yeah.
You know, and customers feel that too. They know that we love their children. Right. Sometimes more than our own, I'm sure.
Well, and I think it's not being afraid to ask for help too. I mean, there's times where you want to seem like you're this big, strong, woman running the business, and everything else is just falling into place. But obviously, life doesn't work that way. And I think just knowing that we have each other, it definitely helps that there's two of us. Rather than, and we have a really great, amazing staff that is very supportive too, and they obviously are there if we can't be. But just making sure you don't have any regrets. I mean, you're going to have to take the time and put it in the beginning. I came to Jessica, and I actually, when I interviewed with her, I was pregnant with my first child, and I had no idea how I was going to make everything work. But it just kind of fell into place, and it's obviously a lot of sleepless nights, but it's totally worth it in the end. So
talk to us a little bit about some tough decisions that you had to make, whether it's with the business or just within your personal life. It doesn't even have to be related to all about dance, just those decisions most people don't get to know that you had to make. They just see the result of it.
I think difficult decisions on our end are when we have to let people go.
Okay.
And just talking business first, I think because we get so close with these people, and you want to always give people the benefit of the doubt, but at the end of the day, they have to be giving a quality product to the students, and we do a lot to really train these people and believe in them, and we're pretty lax on a lot of things. I mean, if something, it's a dance studio, so we try not to be so rigid where I'm standing at the door like you're 30 seconds late.
Right.
But also being professional, and parents expect that, and kids expect that, and kids are going to they feed off of that energy too if you're running into class and you're not prepared.
Right.
So there's been a couple teachers that we've had to let go, and that's been, I think, a really hard thing for us, because we know their families, we know their insides and outs, and at the end of the day, Shannon and I have to sit down and think what's best for the business, and and
Have you gotten the best word I can think of on camera is pushback, when you've had to let someone go? Like, did they really fight it, or did they pretty much know, what, you're right?
We really haven't. I mean, to be honest, a lot of personalities of people in this industry are totally right-brained. Creative types, just not as on top of their schedule or being on time or all the back end of stuff that we've kind of asked for them to do now. So they're usually okay with it, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, they need the job, but I think for the most part, we've only really, had one person possibly that, kind of fought for what they believed was right in that instance. But in the end, when it came to time to leave, they knew that it wasn't the right thing. So I also think it's difficult too for to go along with that. Just this job, obviously, we have to have teachers here, and it's kind of a school teacher. So if someone's not here, you have to have a sub for that class. Yep. And it's not just a desk job, or if your job doesn't get done that day, it doesn't. So I think that's challenging too, because we are always on the clock. Pretty much 24/7. The studio is open 7 days a week. And we don't really have a day.
Oh, wow. Okay. But at least you're on call with something that you absolutely love.
Yeah.
So that, do you have a vacation?
Yeah, we do.
Okay.
And we actually balanced
just
it
not
out.
at the same time?
No.
Oh, right. I figured
It
that.
actually worked out really well. Our family schedules are kind of opposite. Like, we go on vacations at different times, and so it's always worked out pretty well. I mean, it's usually one of us is in town, so if a catastrophe happens, we can run over in a second.
Excellent.
But it's kind of just been a match made in heaven where it works.
Where's this going? All about dance. How far you want to take it?
There are no limits. We would love to have another location. We're, talking about that. We just think that we have such a great thing to offer, and we still do have things that we're working on here at this location, but there are not very many studios like us recreationally and then have all the different aspects to it in the city. I mean, there are a lot of studios downtown who, have their core values and maybe a little bit more strict or in a different direction than we are. But we just find that there's not enough options for dance in the city, unfortunately. More in the northern, western suburbs. So
okay,
we're hoping to expand one day.
Excellent. So this question is for both of you to answer. How can women thrive?
They can find a passion and really drive it home. It's finding that thing that ignites you so you can wake up every day being inspired. And sometimes that's hard for people because I know not everybody had the opportunity to grow up doing something that they love. But really honing in on what makes you happy and finding a way to make that be your career. I think a challenge with that though is sometimes that thing you love all of a sudden is your job. And so you're like, that's a quirky balance to figure out, okay, I love this, because I don't really come into the dance studio and dance for myself anymore. I'm giving it away, I'm giving it back. And I went through hurdles with that where it was like, I just want to dance for myself. But I think truly honing in on what you love to do and not being afraid of it, not saying I can't do that, it's never going to happen. Because if you truly love it, people will come.
Yes.
If you're doing it just because you want to make money, it's not going to work.
Right, absolutely. Shannon, how can women thrive?
Just having a really good balance in life and knowing that, in the beginning it's a lot of work and you can see that light at the end of the tunnel. But again, if you're passionate enough about something, it's going to, see you through the good times and the bad times. And it's okay to, again, lean on people and have, partners and people that you work with just to kind of get you through. But at the end of the day, have that main goal in your heart and in your head, that are hopefully in balance. That's going to get you to your end success.
Excellent. I spoke with a woman, she's in her late 40s, and I asked her what it is that she's always wanted. She's an accountant. So is that always what you want to do? You love numbers? She's like, girl, no. No, this is just what I'm good at, and it's what pays the bills. I said, well, when you were little, what did you want to do? She's like, I wanted to be a dancer. I'm like, are you serious? Why didn't you pursue that? And she's like, oh, well, then I had babies and then I had to feed them. And I said, well, why don't you start dancing now? And she's like, now? Why? I'm in my late 40s. And her daughter was with us. Her daughter was about 19 years old. And her daughter goes, so? Just that, so? And she went, you know what? You are absolutely right. And I'm glad you all mentioned the adult classes, because there are people, women and men, who think that they're too old for whatever, fill in the blank. I'm too old to dance. I'm too old to go back to college. I'm too old to whatever. And the adult classes, people come voluntarily. It's not your parents are putting you in this class, whether you want to or not. So I'm really glad that you all have adult classes. But also, I want people to understand that you don't have to be a technically trained dancer. You didn't have to attend the School of Juilliard in order, to be able to express yourself physically through your vessel and through your body. And I'd actually like to demonstrate how easy that might be. We've got two wonderful, fabulous dance instructors, and I've asked them to kind of teach me a little 8 count so I can show you how easy it is. Right? It is easy, right? Okay, yeah. We're going to show us how easy it is for you to be able to move your body and not look like a ballerina who's in a company in New York. Just move the way your body naturally moves. I'm Erica Gilchrist, award-winning speaker, author, and trainer. And thank you for watching this episode of WTF Women Thriving Fearlessly. While you're here, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel and be sure to share this video with all your friends and all your social networks. And head on over to theunstoppablewoman.net where we can take your questions and comments. And until we speak again, thrive fearlessly.